Hello and welcome to the second part of my YouTube series Increase Your Research Impact. In this episode we'll discuss what research impact is.
Okay, so what is impact? As I mentioned, there's at least 5 different elements of impact. The first of which being academic impact. This is usually the things we talk about in our implications for research section in our article. How does our research influence future research in the field? This is typically measured by citations. I'm not going to engage in a long discussion as to whether that's an appropriate measure, whether that's the best measure. It's a bit like democracy. It's kind of maybe not ideal, but it's the best system we have to measure academic impact. So that is relatively simple. And that's why today I've decided to focus on academic impact. There's other kinds of impact as well. Not sure why this is not moving forwards. Okay. Impact on practice. Some of you are on a teaching and practice track and engage very much in your research with practitioners. And obviously, hopefully, given that we work in a business school, we would hope that some of our research is at least of relevance to practitioners as well. Obviously, we all have tremendous impact on our students as well. And I think we shouldn't forget that when working in a university, that the research we do is also feeding into the classroom. So, knowledge, practice and teaching, 3 important elements of impact. And then we have kind of the more external, broader impact on public policy. Some of us are doing research that has a major impact on public policy or on society more generally. And research, even in our fields, might help actually changing norms and values in society. So rather than thinking impact is one homogeneous concept, there's actually a lot of different elements of impact. The confusion arises when a lot of people talk about impact, but they mean something different. So as I mentioned in this presentation, I'll be focusing on academic impact for 2 reasons. First of all, as I said, it's kind of relatively unambiguous to measure, so we can actually have a chat about it in an hour or so rather than 2 or 3 days. It's also the area that I'm most familiar with. But if you want to know more about policy impact and how to improve your impact on policy, I've recently come across a really excellent site, the World Bank, where they've posted a blog, 10 ways to improve your policy impact. And there's some really interesting novel ideas there.
In the next section, I'll explain why you should care about citation impact. Hope you'll join me.